You might have been seeing a bit of this on your social media channels. Hello. We have a new driver, 3 new heads from Callaway, and we've gone back to Epic. So we have an Epic Speed, we have Epic LS, low spin, and then we have an Epic Match. We're going to test them today. 3 new driver releases, gone back to Epic from Callaway Golf. We've got a new frame in our face that everyone's been posting. Hello. What does it actually do? Will it help you play better golf or not? As always, we're going to deliver the numbers, looks and feel, and we're also going to do strokes gained as well as a fun game at the end to see which one I would pick out of 3 if I was putting one in my golf bag. Should be a fun video. We're looking for testers of a brand new Callaway golf ball. We've got 50 dozen Callaway golf balls to send. Now, if you want to be in a chance of being one of our testers, what you need to do is be a subscriber to this channel. Would help your chances, possibly. Just subscribe, it's a good channel. Hit the thumbs up button down there if you like the video that's gonna come. Also down there is a link to a website which allows you to sign up to become a tester. So it's at the MyGolfGains website. If you become a tester, you've got a chance of getting 50 dozen, one of the 50 dozen golf balls sent to you. We've already sent out 50 dozen instructions. We'll be doing loads more with other companies who want you to test their product. It can range from a driver to a golf club to tees. It could be anything. So if you want to become a tester and have a chance of testing, down there in that link, follow the link through, sign up, become a tester, 3 golf balls to test. All you have to do is send us a little paragraph back telling us if you like them or not. Like, no, we don't care if you like them or not. We want to hear what you've got to say. Come and sign up. Should we start with some looks and feel of the 3 heads? So obviously initial ideas or things to notice is that LS has the movable weight, so does the Max, but the Speed doesn't. There's a noticeable difference from the bottom side. Also in the comments down below, what do you think about the fact that we've gone back to Epic? We are back at Epic. I do feel a little bit like Callaway's names are just, there's no continuity to them. It's like they just jump around a little bit. I don't know, what do you think? To go back to a name that we've already used when we had Maverick and stuff. What do you think? Let me know. So all 3 heads look great. All black carbon tops, and you see a bit of the carbon coming through. All have this little dash at the back with the Epic logo. All have the chevron lineup line. We got the silver AI face that kind of just contradicts slightly with the black to give you nice lineup lines. All of them sit pretty nice down by the ball, pretty square. The Max, even though they're all 460cc heads, I think we'll come to the tech later on. The Max definitely has like a big footprint, looks more kind of down by the ball, kind of frying panny friendly. Slightly raised up at the back more on the other ones. I always think makes it look not as stretched back, and it's probably the shallowest, I would guess, out of the 3, which then allows them to stretch it back possibly a bit more. Where the Speed and the LS are like really close. I'm almost expecting these 2 to be kind of like arguably the same club that you got this if you want it and not in the other one, and maybe a little less spin, but it seems to be a trend at the moment that lots of the manufacturers are bringing the spin, even on the low spin model, nowhere near as low. The kind of standard one is almost on a par with the low spin one, it seems, at the minute. Let's start with the LS. So for collecting numbers, I'm going to use a hazardous smoke. People often ask me what shaft I've put in, and I'm going for a 50 gram one because I do relate or respond to lighter better. I could 60 gram to 50, not much of a difference, maybe a mile an hour, subject to how I'm feeling. So it's more just trying to squeeze the most out of it. But I'll use the same shaft for each club. And what will happen with the test, I'm going to hit a couple with like 3 with each club and then switch and keep doing that to keep the test as fair as I kind of, my ability to warm up, slow down, those kind of things is kind of evenly spread across the test. So LS, low spin, looks good down by the ball, sits square, looks great. How does it sound, feel? Good, like really good. And that's what Callaway have kind of been doing recently, is making some of the best sounding and feeling clubs I think I've felt for a long time. Oh yeah, that does just feel really, really solid. Initial thoughts on the LS as well. It doesn't feel like I'm going to turn it left. It feels like a straight machine for me. Stroke I reckon I can draw it, but it's going to be like that shot, that little tail to the right, which again is a common pattern with low spin, isn't it? That's the one that's generally a fraction more fadey. It's classic Callaway with the dark head and the chevron on top as well. It's like true to what Callaway have looked like for quite a while now. Oh, I blocked that one a little bit. Struck it good, just the face was wrong. Sounds solid, like it does, and I don't know if it's just because I've read the marketing around it, but it feels solid, like it's gonna not twist much, like it might start to compete with Ping in strokes gained ideas, because when it comes to stability, sometimes it's always hard to beat them. Has the new face and what have you allowed them to kind of keep up with one of the most stable companies out there? Let's go and check out the tech. I'm going to change the LS to the speed, same shaft, and collect a few numbers. So the three heads, we've got the speed, which you could think is going to be the biggest seller out of the three. It's built for as much clubhead speed as you could get, which we'll come back to the reasons in a second. You've then got the max, where maximum MOI, you're going to get the most user-friendly club, and then you've got the LS, which in theory is the low spin model, but we're not seeing maybe as low spin as we've seen in other ones. That's what the three heads are generally doing. Now, all three heads feature the new AI Jailbreak speed frame. So this in here, we've now got 4 connection points. They're going for stability this way and this way. So they're trying to give you a more stable driver, which in turn will give you more ball speeds across the face in theory. And they've used the AI computer that they're pushing to help them design this in conjunction with the AI face. So what's interesting with the three faces is they're not actually the same on the three heads. The three heads all have AI face, but they all have slightly different versions of it as what I can see. Obviously they're trying to maximize ball speeds, hitting patterns for demographics of who might hit each club is what I'm guessing. The AI face is out there to try and keep your ball speeds constant across different parts of the face as you move away from the sweet spot. It's very strong, firm titanium. It's built to high tolerances. Again, they're trying to push ball speeds as much as they can with this face. So the Max and the LS have the sliding bar at the back to allow you to move that weight around for dialing in shot shape stroke curvature. The Speed doesn't, more of a fixed weight. All clubs have the carbon top, and we've also got a carbon toe pad. They're saving around 18 grams of weight, which they're going to use in different areas, again to try and get the most out of the club for your game. Now remember, all these drivers are custom fittable. I think they're coming out as standard as 45.75 inches long. All three heads are 460cc heads, so the size of the head is the same. All three heads come with a dialable sleeve, so you can dial in your lofts, so they're adjustable. All three heads are available left-hand and right-hand golfers. So coming at you with the Speed. So it's packed as you'd expect with Callaway with tech, isn't it? Obviously we've got the 4 ideas. I have to tell you here, look, we've got 4 jailbreaks now ideas, which you can see from all those pictures inside. AI face, which is again something that it's going to be really hard to measure over time. You'd kind of hopefully see it. I think for me, the thing that fitters will notice or not is this stability, which is what I often see in the strokes gain numbers as I test. Let's see if the Speed is any different. Lovely little round shape. Again, doesn't look massive down by the ball, but looks big enough. So in theory, this is the one I'm going to get the most out of, get the Speed out of. Instantly that looks a little bit faster. Again, the Speed is arguably going to be the like all best for all golfers kind of thing. Gives you many options. It's high in MOI, it's going to give you speed, it's stable. I just think, I don't know, it just might not look big enough down by the ball for some golfers, but I mean, it looks big enough, I think. It's the same sound, which is what, it just sounds so solid. Oh, that's out there. It feels really, really solid and good. It's a beautiful sound. I do worry, maybe post in the comments down below what you think. It's not the tingiest, like it's a nice sound and what I kind of like as a nice sound, but I'm swinging at a speed that puts a bit of sound energy in. I've been on the course with people testing this club. So someone in my family tested this club and she hit it and she kept feeling like it was a bit dull, she said. You know, it felt a bit like it just didn't come off that fast. Like the numbers were good. It definitely sounded not as tingy as maybe other brands, and maybe people will interpret that as not as quick. What do you think? In the comments, let me know. Do you want the, you know, the Speed one to be like tingy and sounding loud? And obviously I know there's no answer to this, you're going to be split, but if you're selling a product, I presume with this one you're going to try and appeal to the biggest demographic of people. I love the sound, I think it's great, but I could see people feeling like maybe it doesn't sound loud enough. I think it just sounds great. And it does, again, it feels solid. And I am moving this one a fraction faster. And this isn't my first time around with these clubs, so I'm not like gone from that one and warmed up to this one, because I do my hardest to try and warm up before I start filming. I don't just start whacking it. Right, let's go to the max then. So the max I've got here is a 10.5, so I'm going to bring it down a degree to make it the same as the other ones. They were 9s, which was quite interesting, because I thought I might have to go with the way I'm swinging at the minute. I'm struggling to keep loft off, but what happened with both of those Callaways in initial tests before I started filming is I started in an 8, but I just wasn't getting high enough launches, so I stayed in the 9. And often I'm between 9, 8.5 and 8s, and some drivers I could get down to 7s. They just felt really solid, and like everything was going this way. I wasn't able to add that much loft with them, which I thought was quite interesting. So this one is a 9.5. It's the max. So for me, this is my least favorite, because the other two are where I would be at. But this is the one, I think for most golfers, even though I say the speed is like the bigger seller, I don't know, this one might be, and arguably should be. It's definitely got the bigger footprint down by the ball. It hugs the ground at the back. It looks bigger down by the ball. So arguably this is maybe where your average golfer should start and then work back to things like the speed. Let me know. Again, I mean, this one just looks friendly and big. A fraction louder possibly, but that might just be where I struck that. It feels friendly. It feels as stable as those, which is a good thing. It sits nice and neutral down by the ground, doesn't sit particularly open or closed. Obviously you've got the sliding weight again on the bottom of this one, so there is a chance for you to dial in your shot shapes and try and reduce curvatures. I do feel like this one is going to draw more than the others. You see that one turning slightly left, but still a decent hit. So I'm feeling like the speed was pretty neutral. I could go both ways. The LS was pretty neutral to maybe a little bit fadey. That doesn't mean I couldn't draw it. And the max definitely feels kind of neutral to more turn left. I know I've moved this one to the right, but I felt like my standard, if I hit, I would be fighting more left with this, which is kind of what you would expect in a max product. And glancing down at the numbers here, this one definitely, I feel like I could loft it down if it was a club I wanted to persevere with. Yeah, so that's a slight toe, but that's really turning. So it's me. Didn't feel like the LS would do that. Again, decent speeds on that. Let me go once around again with each club, get some decent numbers. And let's show you what these numbers are all about. So really interesting numbers, look at this. Exactly kind of doing what they're meant to do. So the speed for ball speed is the fastest. The speed, so 161 to 159 to 160. Club head speed 112 to 111, then 111. So I did squeeze a fraction more out of the speed for club head speeds. Launch angles all pretty static, very close to each other. Backspins, look how close the speed and the low spin is. I mean, there's nothing in it. And then the max just being that little bit higher spinning, well, 500 revs high spinning, which is kind of what you would imagine, which made it just drop back just over 10 yards from 283 to 272 in the max to 283 in the LS. Obviously, again, like I said, if I wanted that max to be my club of choice, I could take that down another degree in loft, which would then just maybe bring that spin down 200 or 300 revs, 100 to 300 revs, arguably subject to how I hit it, which would move it definitely closer to the other two. So I'm not saying that the max is worse. I think it does. They're all doing what they're meant to do. It's just not really the club for me. But there's plenty of people out there who won't want the spin to be going crazy too low. You know, if you're an average golfer spinning it around 2000, you might find these two, the speed and a bit of too low spinning, and you'll get more out of max. It's just, again, why it's so important that you go and get fit. Yeah, I mean, they're three really good performing drivers. Look at the dispersions with the three, so definitely a fraction further left with the max. So more right and left. So that's me trying to hunt the kind of best direction out of all of them. But you can see there the blue, which is the LS, see how it's much more right than the red, so it's that kind of straight to fade. I don't think I've ever seen three clubs do so much what they're meant to do in the data, and my data is pretty consistent. Like when I test with other people and people show me other tests, you know, my tests are hilariously consistent sometimes, and I can often show what a club is meant to do, is what I mean in my test. So me hitting kind of brings out what the designers have said to a certain extent. I've never seen that as much in these, which is possibly testament to how well made these three drivers are. Let's take a look at the strokes gained.
Hi guys, Coach Lockie here, talking you through the strokes gained numbers, and as you can see, all three drivers are gaining against the Tour Pro. Wowzers. Who would have thought Mark would have been gaining against a Tour Pro, eh? They must be some good drivers. I'll give you some credit as well, bruh. Well done for the last year of speed training as well. Now, as you can see, the Epic Max only gaining 0.4 compared to the Speed, which is gaining 0.6, and the LS 0.8. Mark's already mentioned though that the Max isn't quite set up for him, and I think if he was able to decrease that loft a bit more, he'd be able to get that total strokes gain number up near the others as well. Now the top two, the LS and the Speed, if you look at the per shot difference, it's 0.05, so nothing in them. And if he was to retest, I wouldn't be surprised if those two kept switching over for top dog. The thing I would say though is that the Speed, he's able to swing it a little bit quicker, and over time, if he can keep that up and also keep the accuracy, you might see that one gaining more often. But it's a flip of a coin between those two, and I'm sure that he's going to be taking those two into the game to see which one wins.
LS to kick us off then against the Speed. 5 drives with each, going to pick the longest of the two and then the average of fairways hit to not. So how many out of 5 can I hit on the fairway with this compared to the other one, and how many, or which one will hit the longest out of the 5, so a point for each. Because I'm using the same shaft, I'm going to go 5 and 5 basically with each club. Now LS instantly has a feeling of advantage on this hole, because it doesn't feel like I can hit it left. I'm going to hit one left into the water as well after saying that. But I literally aim that one slightly up the left. So that's off the fairway. But a driver that feels like it only moves one way, obviously I can draw anything if I get it wrong, but does have it has its advantages. Like, you can keep moving off to the right. So that's, both of those are in play, but none of those are on the fairway. So that's 0 out of 2 for fairways. Not a good hit. Speed is there, but it's a high toe strike. Bunker. Here we go, we finally hit the line, nearly. That might go on to the line actually. Go on. Oh yes. Right, last one before we go to the Speed. There you go, I've turned it. Well, that was what? Last massive turn. Yeah. Let's see what the Speed can do then. So again, down by the ball, not much difference in looks. The bottom, but dead straight. Instantly my club head speed is faster as well. I do feel like the speed, my ball speed wasn't great there because I caught out the bottom. So from this initial morning with these clubs, and you know, I would want to feel like I do more, and I will as I test over time, it's just a no-brainer for me. I think the Speed's just a really good club. Oh, that's not a good drive. Oh, it stayed core. Look at that. Wowzers. I was expecting that to go over the blooming houses. The club head speed was good, ball speed hopeless because delivery wasn't clever. But that's a fairway can't win already, isn't it? And obviously just because I think the Speed is better, that doesn't make it better. I mean that it's better for me. It does feel like I can get more out of this one. I do feel like I could squeeze a little bit more speed out of it. LS wasn't particularly lower spinning, and we'll look how that comes out on this second test. And not as fast as this one. Yeah, look, that's not turning left. That's a decent head speed. Is it going to stay on the fairway? Oh, I guess we're calling that off the fairway, are we? And we'll do some tests against some of the other big players, but the Speed, I think, is going to stand up with best in class everywhere. Does feel stable. Does feel like I can get more out of this. That's a pretty average drive again. Oh, I've hit the tree and it's come back on the fairway. That was debatable if that was going to be on the fairway or not. Right, last one. Gonna go for the longest. I think I've had a 162 ball speed today is my fastest. Not really setting the world alight with that. That's left, surely. Here's my fastest by a mile. Oh, I'm gonna hit just one more. It's that, because I have hit that. If I got that delivery better, that was 114 club then. Fairway count was pretty obvious, you could see it. It's a 185 here, but that one in the water. In play, that one went in the water as well. It's a 281, 25 right with the LS, which got the longest hit, but it didn't get the longest ball speed on average. And you can see now the spin on these two, it is falling down and the low spin is just coming out that fraction lower spinning, but look, you've got a 3,000 miss hit in there. You know, if we take that one away and the 2.6, which is not really close to the other ones, I would say it's around 200 revs. But what I'm more interested in, so the low spin from there you can see does have the potential to be the longest, but it's certainly not. I'm going to go with the speed, and it's just that last shot there that really intrigues me. So like, if anyone wants to hang around after the video and watch me try and hit a few more, you're welcome to, and if you don't, because I'm just going to start smashing them like a crazy man. It's the speed for me out of three which would work for me the best. All three of them solid, well-made drivers. The standout factor for me from today's test was just how much they fell into their brackets of what they're built to do in that initial data set. I thought that was really, really impressive. Are they going to be loads better than, say, Maverick or the last Epic? If you've got it, go and test, let me know. I would say you're not going to find that much difference, but if you are back a few more models than that, you might find there's more stability. And that's the thing for me, I did feel like we were getting onto ping level of stability in those, but how much of that is just what I'm feeling compared to reality, it's hard to tell, because it's very easy with golf tech to start bringing your own baggage if you're not too careful, and that's good and bad baggage. Let me know in the comments down below, would you test them? What do you think of the new drivers? Do you reckon it's a waste of money or not? You're just going to get a cheaper last year's, or you're really happy because you've been waiting for a new driver and this is one you'll test when you can get out and do it? Let me know in that comment section down below. If any of you want to stay around, I'm going to get a few more. Just one more go. Let's call ourselves the Just One More Go clan, because that was a 214 club. Wowzers. Sorry, not 114 club, sorry. Again, just gonna hit a few where I just absolutely smash it. Yeah, 113 club, and that's on fairway, out the bottom hit. I just don't feel like I could get a 114 with the LS. It is interesting that they've made a speed model that does feel speedier. Healy strike, 112 club. But I mean, again, look how stable that feels. That was a pretty healy strike. Do you reckon I can get a 115 club? Oh, that's a complete miss it. I thought that 114 was going to trend up, but unfortunately we've trended down. Bit of an anti-climax. Thanks if anyone has hung around, but it wasn't worth it really. Oh yeah, that's a bullet. 113 club, flying the tree. I don't fly that tree normally. 161 ball. Right, just one more. It was a 113 club, wasn't it? So this has to be 113 or 114, all the cameras go off. Can't trend down, got to trend same to up. 113. We got just one more. Again, 113, can't go to 112, it's got to go 113 or 14 above, can't trend down, got to trend up. Oh, we're done. It's the rules of just one more. Oh, we got 112, we're done. We are done. Get in the water. Oh, get quicker, Mark.